It's interesting for me personally as
Sure,
someone
ahead.
who is currently, learning maybe managing others and myself and leading others. There are sides in our personality that sometimes don't really fit into the concept of being the good leader. And we don't always manage to deal with them just because we recognize them, just because we become aware of them. In this sense, when you lead by example and you're also aware of your deficiencies as a person, what is your recipe? How do you practice accepting yourself, improving yourself, especially in the context of you being the leader in an organization?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a very deep question, at least the way I perceive it, because I've been struggling with this myself for some time, and maybe even right now. But I think that I've taken this under control to a huge extent. So I think that the best way to accept ourselves with our flaws is by accepting the flaws of others as well, and understanding that we don't need to be perfect to create something good and something purposeful and something meaningful. And it's part of human nature to accept the flaws of others. This doesn't mean to encourage them or to admire them, but just to understand that each one of us is working on his individual evolutionary path, including the evolution of our mindset, consciousness, however we call it. So allowing others to be imperfect and even showing your imperfections sometimes is actually, I think, a positive practice. Especially if you demonstrate that you have the desire to change and you're putting the effort to change in a positive direction, which is a never-ending process anyway. So accepting yourself and accepting others and still being happy about the things that you're doing and focusing on your positives and doubling down on your strengths. I think that this is inspiring, and I've been listening myself and analyzing myself while listening to various types of motivational speakers. No matter if they're professional motivational speakers or just people who happen to motivate others. And I think that one of the most powerful techniques they have, either intentionally or unintentionally, is to admit some of their flaws and still show that they can be a valuable person and they can produce something good. And I think that this is the really empowering message, because all of us have our flaws and we're typically paralyzed by that. And when you show that you can have flaws but still progress and achieve great things, then others get encouraged. And when they get encouraged, it becomes much easier to use this energy and to recycle part of this energy, or to recur some of this energy into advancing their own level of general perception, of general consciousness. And this on itself, recursively, is improving all their qualities and negating some of their traits.
And if you're just as passionate about innovation as we are, hit subscribe for the Recursive podcast on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. We're everywhere.